we've been talking about it all morning. Andrew Brown Jr., the 42-year-old man killed by deputies in Elizabeth City, North Carolina, will be laid to rest today with so many questions left unanswered. So let's get straight to BNC's Astrid Martinez. She joins us live in Elizabeth City. Good morning, Astrid. So can you set the scene for us this morning? I just really want to know, what's the mood there right now?
Well, right now things are really quiet. I think people are ready for the services to begin. It's been nearly 2 weeks now since Andrew Brown Jr. was shot and killed by sheriff's deputies while they were trying to serve a warrant on drug-related charges. Now, those funeral services will begin here at the Fountain of Life Church around noon, but before that, his body will be driven around town in a horse-drawn carriage. The procession will take about an hour. Then it will be brought here for a private service that will be held by Reverend Al Sharpton. He will deliver the eulogy. The public services, they did take place yesterday. The public was able to pay respects to Andrew Brown Jr. during 2 different services. Now, in the meantime, though, protesters, they have gathered once again. They gathered last night. This town is small, but they're strong. Out of 12 days, they've marched for 11 nights. They've been demanding transparency and justice. You might remember that 2 weeks, last week rather, a judge declared that the body cam footage, 4 body cam footages and 1 dash cam video will be kept out of the public eye. So only 30 days they will have, depending on a criminal investigation, if that body cam video will be released. We did speak to attorney Ben Crump, who told us what steps him and his team will take to make sure that that video does get released sooner or later.
We have very little faith in the local officials based on their attempts to withhold evidence from the family and the public. So therefore, we will be asking the Department of Justice to investigate and bring charges in this matter, because this was an unjustified killing of yet again another unarmed black man.
And attorney Ben Crump tells us that the families of Eric Garner, George Floyd and Daunte Wright will be here today at the services to pay respects to Andrew Brown Jr. Lauren.
And Astrid, like we talked about earlier, so many questions still left unanswered, and a big one, why did the judge decide not to release those videos? What can you tell us about that this morning?
So during the court hearing, one of the reasons that the judge gave was that it would damage the investigation and also possibly threaten the safety of the officers that were involved in the shooting. However, just 2 days after that judgment came down, the sheriff released the names of all the officers involved. So the only reason we have left is that it would damage the investigation. However, attorneys for Andrew Brown Jr. have said in the past that there have been many cases where video has been released and it does not compromise any of the ongoing investigation by any officers involved. So we have yet to hear more from the district attorney. He only spoke once. He spoke that day during the court hearing, Lauren.
Astrid, thank you so much for joining us this morning.